up, Big Bear Nation? Man, are we so glad that you decided to join us tonight for our Saturday night live stream. Well, you know the drill. While Jason and I are running around getting everything ready for the live stream, I want to take a few seconds to mention one of our favorite sponsors. In fact, they're all our favorites, right? But, you know, so can you guess? I've got a hint for you. Can you guess who our sponsor is tonight?
Vlogox.
No.
McMurray.
No.
Girlfriend?
No. I'll give you a hint. It would be Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. So Baker Creek has been with us for quite a while, and they've always been so generous to us, and they've encouraged us to grow things that we might not consider growing. Take these peas, for instance. Last year, or the year before, we were growing just regular sugar snap peas, the Sugar Ann peas. They're your favorite, right?
My favorite.
Right, so last year we got a different kind at the suggestion of Jessica over there at Baker Creek, and she said they're absolutely beautiful. They're tendril peas. Well, we grew them last year, and I will tell you, they are now my favorite, because not only are they tasty, they are beautiful while they're growing. They have these beautiful tendrils that go up, and they also have these gorgeous flowers before they turn into pea pods.
Purple.
And yeah, and some of them are purple, some of them are green with a little bit of a blush color to them. They're really pretty.
I'm surprised you even had some last year.
Another thing is carrots. So I used to not know how to grow carrots. Never grown carrots before. Or at least I had tried, but never succeeded.
Yeah, carrots were always a really touchy subject with us.
Yeah, because I could never grow them.
We never figured it out.
So, again, talking with Baker Creek, when we were there visiting, one of the ladies there said to me, she said, well, you know how you plant carrots? And I said,
No clue.
you make a little line, you put the seeds in, and you dust the soil on top. And she's like, nope. She said, literally make your line, drop the seeds in, and walk away. Water them in and walk away. And so I started doing that, and now we have great success with carrots. We've grown all different types of varieties. They're all tasty. They all do really well in raised beds, so we're very grateful for that.
The ox hearts are my favorite because they're like really huge.
Yeah, they're like really big. They're kind of wide and almost look like a heart, right?
Right. An ox heart.
Right. So then another thing, so this right here, I don't know if you noticed that, but we didn't do that intentionally. That was actually a volunteer pepper from last year. This is, I'm assuming, is poblanos, because I think the poblanos were in here. And there must be probably 10 or so plants there. So we're going to dig those guys up, put them into separate little cups, and let their root structures kind of grow pretty strong. And then we're going to move them into a couple of different beds. So we're excited about that. But that's one thing that I wanted to say about Baker Creek's seed is that it's so fertile and it does so well. All of their germination rates are incredible, to the point that when you go to save seed, if you're not careful and seed, you don't collect it all, and it drops on the side of a bed,
you end up with an oregano situation.
Not just oregano, no, I'm talking about the volunteer plants, like right on the other side of that, right on the other side of that bed. You haven't seen it yet, but there's Swiss chard over there. We had saved seed. And then there's mustard and collards over here growing, because the seed just decided to start there and made its own home, right?
Yep.
So we're very grateful for Baker Creek. They've been super busy this past year.
Yes.
But I have found that being patient and waiting is well worth it, because the quality of seeds that they have and their customer service is amazing.
It's like Brussels sprouts.
Yep.
We've never had success with any kind of Brussels sprouts. This year we had so many Brussels sprouts that we were eating Brussels sprouts with dinner.
Almost every night. That's right. And that and cabbage.
Yeah, cabbage too. We had our first, quart or couple of gallons of our sauerkraut that we grew on the farm.
That's exactly right. Yep. So we've been very successful this year with seed. We're looking forward to this growing season. We think it's going to be pretty good. So I think things are probably just about ready for the live stream. Go ahead and grab your glass of tea, buckle in, and we'll see you in just a moment.
Bye.
GoPro, stop recording. Hey, you forgot to turn that light off. Silly monkey. I'll turn it off.
I'm a silly monkey.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you just showed the world why you're not allowed to sit next to me on the couch when we're watching a scary movie.
That's exactly right. Hey, you copied me.
No, you copied me. I was out here first.
Mm-mm.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
You copied me.
Please.
Hey, Daryl, what's up? Hidden within myself, Mark Krieger.
Copper kettle.
Oh, you're going to do that, huh? You're going to skip right over Sydney? Mama Z's Texas Kitchen. Wakatomica, what's up? Good to see you guys.
I wanted to get in there before it was my turn to try to say his channel name.
Oh, Naturally NC. Hey, D, what's up? Mrs. Naked Gardener.
Yeah,
she's
the one we like.
The one you like. One I love. You just like her. The puppy is absolutely adorable. Yes, she is not really a puppy anymore.
No, she's a velociraptor.
She's in the velociraptor stage now, as you could see. It was kind of funny when I was editing that commercial real quick. At one point in the beginning, when when Ladessa and I are talking, if you look like over my shoulder, you'll see Carol like run and the dog like chase after her. It's really funny. So anyway, and then of course Carol comes walking back into the picture. That was fun always, you know.
You're lucky she didn't start dancing.
She tried to.
Oh, you fussed at her?
No, she did it on the chicken video that we're gonna do. They were moving stuff and she was moving stuff. Is the allergy medicine working? Well, to be fair, Tori, he probably only took it about maybe 15, 20 minutes ago. So give it a little bit. I think maybe by the end of the live stream.
What am I, chopped liver? Nope, chopped rat snake.
Now that's funny right there. So anyway, it's been a long day.
I mean, it's kind of working. I'm not all, like when I was talking with Sydney and Tori and everybody on Marco Polo, I was kind of like...
His eyes were all like
it looked like I got
swollen together.
I got like
bee stings
in my face.
And his eyes were just watering profusely, and
Sydney was begging me, just take the medicine, just take it.
Yeah.
So I did the eye drops. I did the stuff up my nose.
And you took the medicine.
And I took the medicine. So
yep. Thumbs down.
So, what is all that stuff on our pond? Is that pollen?
I believe so.
That is disgusting.
Yeah, we'll take a pic. We need to take that. Needs to be an Instagram picture.
That is utterly disgusting.
That's one thing that just about every year when we have our pollen hit.
It's never been this bad.
Yeah, it has.
No, it hasn't.
Okay, it hasn't.
Okay.
I think you
name the last time I've been this bad. Oh, you can't because I've never been this bad in our 16 years of marriage. No.
Anyway, the pond is covered in pollen. It's got this, it's just film over the top of it. And every year when we have the pollen fall, it will get like that over the pond. Yeah. And that's what was really funny is when Jason started having like about 2 weeks ago. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's been about 2 weeks, I think. We weren't seeing the pollen on the pond. And even Ladessa made a comment about that. She's like, but we don't have any pollen on the pond. And I was like, I don't know, Ladessa. But I will say we have seen a ton of ragweed around here. Just walking around, like when we took Dawn and Andy last week, going down the hill right here by the pond, it's covered in ragweed right there. And then up, even in the video, if you watched right over there by the pig pen when I showed the mustards, there was ragweed in that. So, I mean, there's ragweed everywhere. So, I'm assuming...
I think it's pollen vid 19.
Yeah. Checkmate without saying anything? What does that mean?
You know how he goes off on tangents and nobody knows what he's talking about? Tori don't even know what he's talking about. She's like, you see what I live
Can I
with?
turn that fan on, or is it going to be too loud?
Don't turn it on.
Stivers!
What's going on, man? How's it going, Stivers? So, public service announcement, homesteader safety tip of the week. When you are moving Muscovy ducks.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, be careful.
and you're moving them from one tractor to another because they've kind of outgrown that one and you need the smaller one for your meat birds. Be very mindful of their feet.
Yes.
Because they got some, like, Freddy Cougar fingernails on there that will cut you.
Like, they're worse than turkeys. Because they're not just, like, out. They're, like, hooked.
Yeah.
Almost like a raptor. Like, they're really rough. And so, we were moving those guys earlier, and Jason was like, son of a gun!
I didn't say gun.
He pulled his hand back.
Oh, look, I'm not even gonna lie. Look, I'm not even gonna lie.
And he has this, like, where's your little cut at?
Oh. Really? I'm trying to do a public safety, and you're gonna call it a little cut.
Well, no, I was talking about this one. That one's big, yeah. Oh, well, it is big, yeah. Show that.
No, because people will be like, Jason's...
Poor Big Bear.
Poor Big Bear. He's been
rough.
having it rough, so he might have tried to kill himself.
No.
That little SOB got me right there, y'all.
Right at the palm.
Right at the palm.
Yep. And then on
Cut
your
me
finger,
like I owed him child support.
And then your finger, he said it was so deep, it felt like he touched the bone.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all can see that.
Yeah, you can see it.
He got me there.
But it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Yeah.
If you're ever moving Muscovy ducks from a tractor to another tractor,
Pay attention to what you're doing.
be careful.
And they're strong, too. I was not expecting them to be that strong. I don't know why I underestimated that.
I know, because they're massive birds. Like, I don't think you realize, because we don't put our hands on them very often. We usually let them run free. But these 4 guys we had put up because we wanted to be able to process them. So we knew once we let them go, it's darn near impossible to catch them.
Killing them guys, that's going to be some sweet revenge. Oh, you want to cut me? Let me show you how to cut somebody.
So, yeah. All the things, acres. Hello. Hey, Jennifer. So we moved the Muscovies. We had to start moving tractors and get them up to the front of the property. And it cut me like I owed child support.
Well, I mean, he did.
Yeah, it was bad. He was like, and it was like, y'all, it was bleeding. Like, it was dribbling down his arm. I was like, you need to go inside and clean that.
Odessa was like,
are you okay, Daddy?
You're bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm bleeding. Are you okay?
She's always like that, though. Like, we'll be in the house just sitting on the couch, and she'll hear something fall or something. Now she's like, are you okay? Like, I'll be in the bathroom, and like the plunger will fall over and hit the floor. Mom, are you okay? Like, it was the plunger, like, really.
And if you don't answer fast enough, are you okay?
She puts her hands on your face. She's been doing that since she was like 2. Do they make cut-resistant gloves? Oh, I'm sure they have something, but again, I think it was just like you said. I don't know why I underestimated them, but I did.
It was one of those things that I wasn't thinking.
Brenda, we just lost all but one baby rabbit, so I had to go remove all the dead ones. That sucks. Sorry. Duct tape.
And it was one of the things. I was like, let's get these, put them in the carrier
because we had them
container.
in a much smaller,
We'll bring them down to the chicken tractor down here on this part, and we'll bring the remaining half, because we have like an odd number.
We have 98.
Yeah.
And our tractors will hold 40, roughly 40. We've been looking at the Polyface design book, and when we look at his Now that book, if you guys don't have it, you really need.
No,
like, if you're
you don't need to
planning
get it. You just need to stay subscribed. Because I'm eventually going to end up either building a smaller version.
Yeah. So all of his
Everything
versions
in
are
there.
much bigger.
Except for maybe the dolly. I think I found a way around the dolly.
But
Because I don't have a welder.
well, it's not really about the welder, remember, because then you had to have the power to be able to run the welder.
I got a generator.
Now you told.
For the big welder, I don't...
Well, you weren't very clear about that because I stopped pushing about the welder the minute you said you didn't have enough power to run it. But anyway, so the tractors will hold roughly 40. If you do the math on what Joel suggests, basically per square foot for a chicken or for the chicks when they're younger, we can fit about 40 in there. Now, we may have to, kind of move them around once they get a little bit bigger. We'll keep an eye on that. But for right now, because it's still not super warm at night, we're hovering in the 50s. So we're going to keep them. There's enough in there.
Right now, everybody up north
is cussing me out. I know, I get it.
I'm going to unsubscribe and thumb down this thing in
Yeah,
the 50s.
we're in the high 50s. Now, last night we were in the 40s, and that's why we didn't put them out yesterday. We were going to put them out yesterday because anybody who's had birds in their house, after you've had them in your house for a couple of weeks, you're over it. You don't want them in your house anymore. No. Even if you change out bedding once a week, twice a week.
In fact, I know a homesteading channel that you polo with rather regularly.
Uh-huh.
That this channel's level of patience with having the birds in I'm trying to be gender neutral here, so
in the kitchen.
Yeah, was just really. I never thought I would hear the words come out of that person's mouth that I heard this week come out of that.
But I will say this, that person put their birds out before I did. However, that person also has a light source in their cage.
Yeah.
And so...
I mean, naturally, you would think that you'd want to have a light source if it got down.
See, the problem with us is that ours are so far away.
Yeah.
Putting a drop cord and stuff is just
really not
practical.
copacetic.
Right, yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah. All right. So, so Kathleen said it was in the 40s last night out here on the California Central Coast. Wow. I wonder who that was.
Look who snuck in here.
So,
Andy.
So that was kind of a thing. We were trying to go back and forth wondering what we should do. We decided because, and I'm going to be completely transparent, in years past, we would start with 100 birds, but we would never make it outside with 100 birds.
Christy, what's for supper?
Where do you see Christy? Listening while cooking supper. I wonder.
What's for supper? See, we haven't had supper yet.
You lie. It's right there. You just ate it. Anyway, so, in years past, we've only been doing like 100 at a time for a little while. We used to do like 25 or 50, but we'd never really done 100 till we got up here. And what would happen is we would start with 100, but until we moved the brooder literally into our house, we would have problems with people forgetting to check.
I love how you say people. Pork chop.
Watering, all of these different things.
Teenage boys.
And we learned other things like draft. One year we had birds.
I don't think you ever had access to draft. I mean, I never seen him when it came.
Draft. So we learned that, your brooder walls have to be a certain height because if you've got, a draft that comes in, it'll cause them to, get on top of each other and crush each other and that kind of stuff. So over the years, we've been tweaking things here and there to perfect, how we bring up those, because you have to have these guys in for 4. Oh, hey, Dawn. You have to have them in your house for almost 4 weeks.
Where do you see Dawn?
Dawn Goff, that All the Things Acres. She said it's Dawn. So, and so this year, I think we made it. I don't want to say it's marine proof. Let's just go there with it. Even though Jason had nothing to do with any of it. That's not his realm. He doesn't handle the chicks. That's my realm.
So today is the day in YouTube history where Mrs. Big Bear got DDT'd on a live stream. Just.
So we now raise them on the backside of our house, kind of like an addition afterthought that they put on the backside of the house. And we built out our brooder, and we have it nice. The walls are nice and high so that there's no draft. We've got a heater in there so we don't have birds clump up under a light. So we don't have that problem, because we leave the room at like 90, and then 85, and we kind of drop it down. And so we lost 3 when we first got them, because USPS is still kind of, messing things up a little bit with shipping. So we got our birds. We lost 3 almost immediately. But then after that, we haven't lost any this whole time. And that is huge for us, because like I said, when you're dealing with teenage kids and trying to get them to do stuff, if you're not on top of them, they're just not. But after about 2 weeks of not losing any, I brought it to Ladessa's attention. I was like, how cool is it that we haven't lost any birds at all? And she's like, what? And I said, let's count them. And so we were moving the bedding, and so we were putting them in a container. And sure enough, we got to 98, and her eyes got and then it was like a goal. Then it became like this personal thing that she was not going to lose any more birds. So we've gotten to where we now have reminders on our phones, check the temperature, check the water, feed them, all of this stuff, so nobody forgets anything. So we moved everybody out today.
Reminders on the phone have been a great thing, been a great asset too.
Well, when you're on a homestead and things get so busy, or you have something like a cow gets out, or piglets all of a sudden delivered, or you walk out and you see a cow with they threw piglets, whatever you want me to call it.
Okay.
Not that. Oh God, no.
The way that you've been showing up with stuff and stuff just showing up, getting delivered, you talking about piglets being delivered, I was like,
I didn't mean it that way. Oh my God, that's so funny.
Pump the brakes on the arc there, Noah.
I did not mean it that way. What I meant was, all of a sudden you have a sow that's thrown. you have a sow that's thrown piglets, or you walk out to go feed the cows and there's a calf on the ground. Stuff happens.
I mean, my level of fear just went from woo!
You're like, wait a minute, I just got rid of 3. What are you talking about delivered?
I have no room for new pig pens.
That's hilarious. So, with all of that happening, we started putting, because there was things like that you can't forget stuff like that, and like one of the things that we've been running into that was an issue was we would turn the heater on at night because it would get cold at night, but then it would be 80 degrees the next day, and it would be so hot between we'd walk in there and it's 100 degrees, and we're like, so
the birds were like panting.
They really were.
Don't mind us. They're like little, they were like little gangsters in the sauna. Like,
if they had not had sufficient water, they would have died. It was because they had water and they were able to continue to keep hydrated that they were okay. But if they had not had their water full at that point, it would have been a bad day. But that was when that happened, and it was funny. God bless you, honey. It was funny because immediately Jason wanted to fuss at the girls, and I was like, "Hold up, you all right?" I was like, hold up, that was actually me because
I'm just over here calling geese.
the weather was supposed to get cold that night. We had turned the heater off, but the weather was supposed to get cold that night, and I didn't want it to dip lower. So we turned the heat back on, and then I just forgot the next morning to turn it off. God bless you.
I hate you.
So we decided that we would even put a reminder on our phones to just check the temperature to make sure that that was okay. And that hasn't been a problem since. So those are definitely a huge help. If you have access to a Google Calendar on your phone, most definitely look into that because it is a huge help when you're doing a homestead to just like even for what we've got going on with all these birds that have been coming. We set a reminder for like the Saturday before that says, hey, you got birds coming next week. So then that way I get it in my head because if we don't, I could get a call that the birds are here and we don't have any electrolytes. We don't have any bedding. Like those are things we can't have happen. So have you tried nettles?
What are nettles?
Like stinging nettle, dead nettle. I don't know that we have any purple dead nettle left. I think and I haven't seen any stinging nettle on our property. I don't know if there's any dead nettle left.
Open for anything at this point.
Kathleen, how would you use it? Would you do it like a tea? Because if I can find some dead nettle, purple dead nettle, I could probably try that and see. I don't know.
I am open for just about anything.
Loved the bee video. Good job.
Thank you.
That was really kind of a struggle in the edit because there was so much good footage.
We had like 30 minutes of footage.
There was so much good footage. And what ended up making the cut was if I was still watching, like I'm editing and I'm still watching it through the screen.
You weren't here when
it happened.
When we went and did it all. Mm-hmm. So you were literally watching like a viewer.
A viewer. And so that's basically how the video was created was I started watching the footage, and as soon as I would notice that I was starting to get a little disinterested, I'd cut it off. And then I'd keep watching.
And then I went back through. I even cut a little bit more out.
Yeah.
But.
And I don't even know that you necessarily should have, based on what we were just saying, with me being like a first-time viewer. I think I have an average, attention span, so, He can't do Benadryl. Benadryl makes him crazy. Well, it makes his legs crazy. He gets restless leg when he has Benadryl, and it's pretty bad. Copper Kettle, you'll have to share that with me if you will. If you would share it with me. I know some people don't like to share their recipes, but I imagine she's the kind of person.
Windswept in the house.
Purple dead nettle pesto.
That sounds like it needs to be on bread.
Pesto, yeah, you can put pesto on like
a cracker.
On those like what's it called? With like the little bread that's like almost like garlic bread, but it's hard, like a tostini, I think is what they call them, something like that. But yeah, we can't do Benadryl. We learned that the hard way when Jason was. With his gallbladder, he
How you doing, homesteading pastor? How are you doing this evening?
We found out he
so
was
glad
allergic
that you're here to join us
to the dye.
Tonight
when
is
they
just
do
release all of Jason's secrets tonight. So,
but he's allergic to the
keep talking because I'm gonna let some of your stuff out too.
I don't care.
Okay.
Anyway, he's allergic to the dye that they use to whatever, the contrast. Yeah. And so they gave it to him, didn't know that he was allergic to it. You didn't even know you're allergic to it. And next thing they knew, half of his face swelled up, kind of like Will Smith in
See, the funny thing
Hitch.
is, Lost Dude, every morning in my coffee, because we have done our best to absolutely cut out sugar. We have some honey that we harvested from one of the swarm traps, and we get one little.
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
our
like
coffee.
bruschetta. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they tried to give him Benadryl at the hospital, and
They didn't try. They did.
well, yeah, they gave him Benadryl at the hospital, and I got a phone call like, you need to
You need to come get.
you
this
need to
photo."
come get him. So I came down there, and like me and 3 nurses and one really large nurse had to get him.
Dandelion tea with lilac and honey helped.
We'll have to see.
Oh, like I said, I'm going to try anything right now. Electric shock therapy. I mean, I don't even care.
Now that's funny, right?
Because when it starts to get under control,
yeah,
I'm stupid. See, when it starts to get under control, and I start to get some relief, I'll go outside. I mean, like, ooh, I can breathe again. The Claritin must be kicking in. This
Yep.
must be kicking in. And
and what does he do? Goes right back outside and starts mowing grass.
well, that's to get done.
It's
And-
like you get stung by a bee, take Benadryl for the swelling, and then go right back out there and play with the bees.
Well,
Hello?
when you got stung, did you have to leave the beehives apart?
Oh, really?
Because you have to go back out there and put them back together. Can't just leave it apart.
Can't just leave it apart. So anyway,
So, I'm very surprised that you are going anywhere remotely.
I really don't know
close
how I
to
did.
using honeybees as any type of reference point for an argument tonight. The way your daughter smoked you in that debate. You didn't know she had that much knowledge
She
about
didn't
honeybees.
smoke me in that debate. Ha! Daryl said, I have visions of 2 long needles sticking in your nose. That's funny. I have Donald drink nettle tea mixed with rooibos tea.
Rooibos tea. Where is the turd herder?
Mask. You know, it gets so hot here.
Yeah, that's probably one of the things. I'm probably going to have to start wearing my RZ mask out with the filters. Just because I can't get anything done.
Yeah. Yeah, he gets 20 or 30 minutes of work done, and then he spends 2 hours recuperating from it. So, inhaling pink Himalayan salt. Ooh. Who won the bee math argument?
Carol,
To
hands
be
down.
determined.
No, Carol won that one hands down.
We were trying to discuss adding more bees to our property. And everybody knows that I'm a victim of chicken math and plant math and
How can
seed
you? No,
packet math.
no, you are not. There's no.
I am a victim. I'm a victim. I am a victim. Look, I just walked into Tractor Supply to go get waterers. Waterers, that's it, and bedding. And I was accosted by the people.
Oh, so you didn't poke the bear with
Tractor
that?
Supply.
You didn't poke the bear with that?
No, I didn't. No, we walked by them, looked at them, and kept going. And the next thing I knew, the lady was walking down the aisle carrying a gosling saying, "See, aren't they beautiful? You need to take one of these guys home." I'm like, the hell I do. What? No, I poked the bear later when I saw, when I noticed that they didn't have their chicken towers anymore, that they now have the old-fashioned, well, I say old-fashioned, but the old way that they used to do things. And then I asked them about it. That was pretty funny. They're like,
Fallen Winter
some
is your worst.
YouTuber.
This is really weird for me this year. I did not have this problem last year or the year before or the year before. Or
You
the year
usually
before.
get the sneezies, but not like to the point where your eyes are almost swollen
Yeah.
shut.
So this is like
But I'm
Worst
noticing,
ever.
like, we're at 30, like, it's been about an hour since you took the medicine. And so you're starting to, like, you had your sneeze fit, but you're starting to, at least it sounds like you're starting to clear up a little.
Yeah.
So,
My
but,
nose still.
yeah. Well, and it doesn't help. Like, we're blowing in air, so it's probably kicking some of that stuff around. And how many did she bring home, Jason? None.
No.
I do not bring home birds, especially from Tractor Supply. The only reason that we brought home the ones that we went up to Northwest Georgia for, was because, it was a really good deal and it was helping somebody out.
Yeah.
So,
Somebody-
and they were very well taken care of birds.
Somebody else tried to run that scam on the Georgia's livestock thing. He made it sound like the Department of Ag came out to him, said he can't no longer have it, and he was having to get rid of his rabbits,
Like his count in the county and stuff.
the rabbits and all of his chickens.
Uh-huh.
And he gave me some price, and I'm like,
No.
dude, that's a little high.
Mm-hmm.
I said, especially for what you're asking, because they were all mixed breeds and this and that.
Like backyard mix.
Yeah. And the rabbits weren't registered, and he wanted an awful amount, and I'm like,
You can keep them.
I said, that's a little high, man. I'm gonna have to pass. And he comes back with me, and he goes, well, you're an idiot, because I have no problem selling these like this at this price, so you have a nice day. And I'm like, oh.
Oh, now
So-
you're going to call me out?
So now you're just running a scam on Facebook. That's
Yeah.
good to go.
You're
And
not. Yeah.
So I reported him to the admins, just,
Mm-hmm.
as it being somewhat of a scam.
Right.
Like that lady with cancer trying to get rid of her Roddy.
Mm.
You wanted her to PayPal you before we even got to see the dog. No,
Yeah.
that's not happening.
Yeah. No. Goslings make wonderful Mother's Day presents.
Who said that?
Kathleen. Over in California. If I was going to get goslings, I'd want to get quite a few of them. And I'm just not ready. I know my limitations on things. And I know that right now, we have, it's just like what I was telling you, with the meat birds, we now know what needs to be done to keep that amount alive for that amount of time inside. We know we have to change bedding frequently. We know we have to have 2 waterers. And let me tell you, another thing that we learned this year, when we went to go pick up those birds, they had waterers that had feet on them. When we were using the big waterers for all of those birds, we always had the ones the red ones with the plastic, on top, that sit flat on the ground. Well, the problem with that is when you're carrying that big thing and you've got all the birds running around trying to get to them, inadvertently, you may have one that gets up underneath there and you don't know it because there's so many just flocking and hitting it. We've had that happen before. Well, when we saw those waterers, immediately Ladessa was like, can we move those into where the broilers are? And I was like, why? And she said, because I'm terrified of crushing one, like bringing the water in and crushing one. And I said, yeah, we'll do that. And that was another thing, because the other thing is because it's raised up, they're not getting like super wet soaked in them. And they're not getting up underneath it and getting crushed. So that's another thing. But what I was saying is that we've kind of got that one now to where we know what we need to do to keep them going.
Yeah.
And so the next thing I want to do is ducks. That's the next. I want us to concentrate more on ducks because we feel like we have goats kind of. We kicked butt with goats this morning.
I want more goats. I want to increase our flock with the goats. I eventually want to get my Highland cows, but it's going to be a while before we're able to get them.
We have to locate who we're going to get them from.
To be 100% honest with you, and I was talking with Windswept the other day. He called, and you talking about knowledge with cows.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he ain't much to look at, but he has a tremendous amount of knowledge with cows. Surpasses mine, hands down.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it, and he was like, dude, I bet you're not going to get a single person to call you right now until things kind of level out. He said, because they're they're a high quality meat. Nobody's going to sell them. Everybody's going to keep what they got and just keep breeding and maybe
in a year or two
process some for their own families and stuff to eat. But nobody's going to want to sell them in this market because as inflation starts to happen and go up, the value of the Highland cattle is not changing. It's the value of the dollar that's changing. And they're just not going to want to sell it, which makes the reason why, I mean, yeah, when you call 3 different breeders, it's, okay, one doesn't call you back.
When all three don't call you,
back,
that's a pretty
and they
good
all
indicator.
3 don't answer emails, it kind of makes you go, okay.
Not right now.
Pumping the brakes.
Well, and that might be a God thing. It might be like, you're not quite ready for these.
Well, and the Highland Cattle Association, the lady there was going to send me the link when they were going to do the auction. They canceled the auction.
Probably because nobody wanted to bring their cattle to auction.
Yeah. So I told Robyn, I said, we're just going to go ahead and take the money that we had set aside for Highlands, get a couple of more beef cows or heifers.
I want to get a couple of beef heifers, yeah.
And let them breed with the Longhorn out there.
I would love to be able to get, when you're going to the feed mill and there's cattle on both sides that are all Longhorns, I would love to find out who owns that and be like, you dropped like 100 calves this year. What you want for 2 of them? Like, that's all I want. I just want 2.
Then we'd have to wait a whole 2 years before they'd be ready to breed. Freckles ain't gonna be around that long.
He was 18 months old when we got him.
In 2 years, I better start having some Highlands on this place.
That's a good point. Hey, Nana Cher, what's up?
I mean, in all honesty, in 2 years, things should have leveled out, or we should be.
Well, and let's think about how much we've done in what's happened in 2 years.
The market should be either fixed, leveled out, or it's out there in cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs land that we ain't really doing much of anything.
But. Right. So, but in the meantime, we're gonna be looking for some cattle. Dexter's could be a good alternative. So, I don't know, Lost Dude, if you watched, there was a video that Morgan put out where he interviewed a guy that did beef, and he was very clear that Dexter's may be a good thing to keep on your homestead just for you, but the market for them, especially their meat, is not really all that great. So it may not really be worth the investment. So, and we've had very good results out of just a dairy mixed with a beef. Like, I mean, they're not like a true beef cow.
They weren't the weight that I liked, but the meat was still good.
Yeah. Although we're still a little, and Windswept might be able to help you with this, but even when we had those steaks the other day, that fat, like usually the fat's like the best part of a steak. When you have a homegrown
that was probably
steak,
from some of the onion grass or something that they were
I don't
probably
know,
but
that fat, like I had to cut that off.
We haven't gotten completely rid of that.
Yeah. And it's not like he was intact or anything. He was a steer, so I don't know.
How are the tortoises?
Hanging in there. Do
y'all want to see the tortoises? If you want to see the tortoises, give us a thumbs up, and we will get Ladessa to bring out the tortoises.
Peacocks.
I have never in my life seen that little girl get so giddy.
Well, it's ridiculous. Like, so here's the long and short of it. We told you guys last year that Ladessa was wanting to get a sulcata tortoise. And several of you made that happen, and we're very appreciative for that. Thank you so much. But when we went to order them, we also found that we had to have all these special lights and all this special substrate, and she had to have this special enclosure, blah, 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 blah.
And you can only order them at a
Well,
certain
I
time
wasn't
of
even
year.
there yet. So we started getting all of that into play. Well, we figured that all out, and then we went to order them, and apparently they don't hatch year-round.
Yeah.
So the next thing, text Carol. So the next thing I knew, you know, Ladessa is just so disappointed because she can't get her tortoise. So I told her, I said, well, start looking. And one of our viewers, she was in here earlier, Green Gables, she reached out to me and she said, look, be very careful with where you get them from, because there are a lot of people out there that will send you just trash and not give you your money back when it dies in 3 days. And so we started doing the research. We found out which one we could do. And like I said, they all of a sudden, they didn't have any, and they weren't going to have them for a while. So we went ahead and started doing the research. And I told her, I said, look, the one that I found is not going to sell them until like August. So she started looking, and she was determined. And so she came to me and she said, Mom, this one right here says they're going to have them back on the website on May 3rd. And I was like, okay. And so I swear to you, I'm not lying, on her wall, she had a countdown.
Yep.
It would say 10 days, 9 days. And she changed it every morning because she knew every morning I was coming into her room to wake her up. And so I would see it on the wall, and it would say 1 day, 2 days, like every day. Bless you, baby. And so I did some research on this company. I found out that one of the YouTube channels that we watch that covers sulcatas, he actually went to their place, you know, basically legitimized them for me, made me feel warm and fuzzy about ordering from them. And so we went ahead, and that morning I'm going down the driveway, and she's like, don't forget to order my tortoises today. And of course I forgot. So a little while later, I get a text message from Carol, and all it is a picture of a tortoise. And I was like, oh, I got to order those things now. So I went ahead and ordered them, and then the whole next day, because she knew they were going to be airmailed, and she, what did she was just like stalking.
30 minutes,
Yeah.
she was looking up at
up the driveway.
up the driveway. She scared the crap out of the UPS man because she
She saw him coming
saw
up.
it go down, and so she hauled butt up there. And he backed down.
Back down the
he came up to
driveway.
the gate. And she said he was shaking the box. She's like, please don't shake that box. That's my tortoises.
So she got the box, and I was on the road, and I got a Polo and a Marco Polo message, and man, she had the biggest Kool-Aid grin on her face. Like, you just couldn't even.
Nope.
And so, but one thing we have found is that we have to call her away from them
Yep.
to be able to get stuff done, because she is
She
totally.
won't neglect her chores.
She is totally enamored with them. Do you need to set the alarm? Yeah. So she has set up a little enclosure for them. She's started growing some what is that called? Hibiscus. Started growing hibiscus so that she can feed the hibiscus flowers and the leaves to the tortoises. Originally, she was only going to get one, and instead, she's got two now. Dee said, see, that sneezing is why your wife brought home Melissa plants today. So, Dee, what can I do with it? Can I make a tea out of that for him? I wonder, because Lord knows I have more than enough of it right now, even before it starts to grow and spread. What Dee is referring to is, I don't know if I've told this story before, but our local feed and seed that we like to support, they occasionally will have plants. Bonnie Plants will bring them their latest delivery, and they will have to pull out the ones that don't look like they're going to sell. And they put them off on the side of the building. Well, today when we went, I was looking for specific plants, and you got them?
Yeah.
Bring them out here.
Okay.
That's what I said.
And so I went to the side of the building, and they've pretty much told me whatever you want on the side of the building, you can have. Load it up, take it with you. And they had a bunch of tomato plants. They had a bunch of lemon balm.
And what I don't understand, for a plant addict, why didn't she just take everything? And she's like, why would I take everything? The cabbage was dying. I was like, so we could have fed that to the pigs. We could have put it in the compost. Because if you don't take it, it's going to end up going in the landfill. And she was like, oh, I didn't think of that. And I'm like, because I'm the one with the brains.
Well, and I was also, I don't know, but I went ahead and grabbed, they had a ton of lemon balm, and so I grabbed that. I grabbed all the tomatoes, a little bit of Swiss chard. So I come home in the truck and I had like flats of plants. What are you doing? She's over here dancing. Let me scoot out of the way. All right, you want to introduce everybody to?
Okay.
Do you even know now? They almost look the same color.
How dare
Is that
you?
Nikki?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry. The lighting's weird in here.
It's not acceptable.
Okay.
Hold on. Nikki,
I'll just
stay.
put them down.
Nikki, stay.
But we got to be careful because they are super fast, y'all.
Okay. Watch her. This is Sam. I don't think you can see it.
Hey, Nikki.
You,
What?
nothing?
What?
You showed them his butt first.
Right. That's how we can tell the difference. The colorations.
Yeah, so Nikki
Understood.
is darker.
Let her talk about her turtles, Robyn.
Okay.
So this one is Nikki.
Gotta come up higher. Nikki, I can't see you.
And then this one is Sam.
Now, why did you choose the names Nikki and Sam?
Because if it's a boy, one is named Nikki, it's okay. And if it's a girl for Sam, then it's fine.
So either one, they
Either
can both be a
one.
boy or a girl.
Exactly.
Okay.
They will get about, 2 feet wide and 3 feet long.
Something like that.
Something like that.
They can weigh up to like 100 pounds, like 80 to 100 pounds.
120, somewhere around in there.
Yeah.
They get pretty big.
But how long do they live?
Too long.
Why do you say that?
Because they do.
Well, they live longer than you,
Yeah.
probably.
Something that I passed down. That's why we thought about the tortoises. That's why I wanted them.
Oh, you want to be able to pass them down?
Be careful, Sam.
Yeah.
Start.
Pass them down to who?
Who do you think?
I don't know.
My children.
My children.
See, you're under the impression that I'm going to let you meet a boy. You going to adopt?
Here we go again.
So
Okay,
what?
we agreed at 35. Okay? We agreed at
45.
35.
So tell us, are you going to do? You told us you're going to do social media. What are you going to do with these tortoises? Are you going to do an Instagram page? Yeah. And what else?
YouTube. Right? You're still thinking of it?
Yep. So Ladessa wants to start a little YouTube channel where she talks about her tortoises and what they do and all that fun
And to
stuff.
be able to teach people about the
Sulcatas.
cicada tortoise.
Cicadas.
Okay, here. We'll do this one instead. African spruce.
Spurred?
African booty snatcher.
No.
Punch you with me.
African spurred tortoises.
It's either African spurred tortoises or sulcatas.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
whichever one is easier.
Silk crackers or
Silk crackers.
Baby, stay right there. Don't let them see that.
But they're very cool. Unfortunately, at this size,
They're very fragile.
you cannot figure out if they're
Careful.
male or
That is
female. So Copper Kettle said, hey, Crystal said, I'm waiting to see her walking a turtle on a leash.
Soon.
I don't know how you would do that. What would you attach it to? Would I
Underneath
have
the
to
belly.
drill something?
No.
Like a little
No, I
eyeball?
can't trust you.
No, that
Like
you
an
put it
eyeball.
up
We'll put
underneath
a
their belly.
Eyeball in there. Take it
Where
out.
did you get them? What was the name of that place?
Tortoise Supply.
TortoiseSupply.com. And let me tell you something. I am fortunate that we didn't have a bad experience that I can compare it to, but I have heard horror stories. These guys came in, they were very healthy, very active. They were eating almost
100
immediately.
Over 100
100.
years.
Yeah, they can
I
live
think.
like 100 years.
Yeah.
You can live over 100.
Yeah. So, but they were packaged very well.
Very well.
Just overall, the experience overall was very good.
So these turtles will actually see 2121.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No drilling.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So now the big thing is making sure that they have the right temperature, humidity, lighting, all that fun
I
stuff.
cannot tell you how hot it is in my room.
Well, I
keep
think
them
we need to
comfortable.
start putting an actual enclosure. Like, you need to build walls.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we need to just take some of those shower curtains that I bought and put them on the inside.
We can bend some.
We just need to figure out
yeah.
something that you can, a tent or something you can put over it. And then from there, they were $125 a piece. And then there was like a $60 shipping, but that is because they fly them from Nevada overnight, and they have them to you. What did you say? It was 16 hours?
16-hour flight.
In 16 hours,
16 hours they're here.
They're here.
And the funny thing was, we ordered them May the 3rd, and I was so happy because they got here on May the 4th.
Yep, they sure did.
So I was super happy about that. I wanted to name them Star Wars names, but I couldn't really think of any.
Well, you want them to be gender kind of neutral, so that
Neutral.
you didn't have any.
I wanted to name one of them Chewbacca, but there's no fur on them, so
Yeah. So.
yeah, couldn't really do that.
So, let's see. Lost Dude says, Jason, Gorilla Glue and eye bolt to their shells.
No.
No bueno.
Uh-oh, we got runaways.
Uh-oh.
They're awake finally.
I don't know.
Look at them.
But they are, for being, you always hear that turtles are slow. But these guys are
That's
fast.
a myth.
Yeah.
That's a myth.
They, and one thing that we've learned, and this is going to have to, over time, is going to have to change, is that their brute strength, they can push through.
He's in Nevada.
That's Dawn Goff. She said she's in Nevada, so that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. That's
That-
where they are. They're in Nevada.
So
I want to say Las Vegas.
yeah. So it might be a little bit easier. It might just be.
Well, what they do, Dawn, is they actually, they do have where you can go pick them up. So,
I lost the barcode for it. I
Did
couldn't.
you?
Yeah, I did.
yeah, because it was on a little card.
It was on a little card.
But you know
and-
what? I think Terry sent me the link.
Okay.
I'll look back in. I'm pretty sure. Terry, didn't you send me the link for that turtle tracking?
But I still do have the necklace.
She has the necklace, yeah. What? Gorilla Glue will eventually wear off. Well, yeah, but No.
Can you give me that nasal spray, please?
The Flonase.
Do you want me to keep them out here for a
No.
minute? Okay, I'll take them back in.
Yeah, you can go put them back so that they stay warm. But yeah, so if you're in Nevada, you can actually go there and pick them up. They'll let you pick them up on site. But we had a really great experience with them. They've been super healthy. They've done all the things that they tell you to really look for to make sure that they're okay. They've been fine. So that's been a huge weight off of our backs because she's been on us so much that she was waiting on Jason to build her the stand for the structure, and we got super busy with Andy being here bringing the pallets and getting things moved around that she finally was like, the tortoises are coming this week, I need a stand, so I'm gonna build it. And she took the old wood from her old bunk bed that she tore down, and she cut pieces and built her own stand for the tortoises. So that was really cool. She put that all together all on her own. But it won't be long before they'll need a bigger structure because apparently they grow.
Yeah, the first year
they grow quite a bit.
They'll grow out of this structure, and then we'll have to build one probably be about the length of her wall.
And that's what I was going to say is their brute strength. Like, there are stories of we've seen stories of them actually pushing through fencing to be able to get out of a structure. And so, we've seen people that concrete in poles, to the structure so they can't push the structure over. When they get as big as they get and they try to move stuff, they have no problem doing it. So, and that's one of the things as we told her is you realize the commitment that you're getting into is there's a lot that goes on with this. Like, she's going to have to grow her own garden. I'll move over some. She's going to have to grow her own little garden to keep up with their feed, which she is doing. She's planted some salad mix, some of that, what is it called?
I don't know.
The Swiss chard. She's growing the Swiss chard. She's got all kinds of stuff that she's planting now to be able to feed them. So I like that too.
And the nice thing is that even over winter, she'll be able to plant lettuces and
right. All of the leafy stuff, which is a main portion of their diet. So that's good. Yeah. So, and the other thing I like is that one of the best substrates for them for their bedding is cocoa coir, which is also really good for planting. So if I can find, we just went ahead and got some from the pet company or whatever, but I'm gonna start looking online to see if I can get bigger things of cocoa coir, so that we can use it not just for seed starting but also for the bedding. So, and the reason for that is because it holds the moisture. Their humidity is really high, so you have to keep their bedding kind of moist so that the moisture, because what they'll actually do is burrow into it and get their moisture that way. So, can they eat spinach? As far as I know, yes. Yeah. They right now she has fed them so far
Swiss chard,
some
carrot.
They're not supposed to have a whole lot of carrot.
No, she only gave them they were peeling a carrot.
Like the little slivers.
Yeah.
But yeah, they mostly it's greens. They don't process sugars very well, so you can give them watermelon, but that's because there's more water than there really is anything else in watermelon. So, but they're not, even though, if you do some research, you'll see people talk about giving them strawberries and things like that. You're really not supposed to do that. They can't transfer whatever the glycemic blah,
it's
blah,
like
blah
sheep
stuff.
with copper.
Yeah, they're not supposed to have a whole lot of sugar. So it's almost like how people think, because we've all watched Bugs Bunny eat carrots, that rabbits are supposed to eat carrots, and they really aren't supposed to eat a whole lot of carrots. So So she's learning all of that, and that's what she's going to cover on her YouTube channel and also on her Instagram. So once we have all that set up, we'll share that out for everybody so that, you know, they can see all that. So, Breakaway, what's up? How's my favorite Huxley doing? I miss him. I want to see him so bad. I need to go up there and see him. I want to ride up there and see him.
Well, how close are you to them on your North Carolina route?
I'm not even close. Because they're all the way on the other side and I'm on this side. North Carolina's a really big state. Like, it's very long. So, and I'm usually on this side of it and everybody else is on that side of it. So, happy Mother's Day to all the moms. Yes, in just a few hours, right? I had somebody that it brought up old scars, but one of the girls I follow on Instagram, Tara Beaver Coronado, I think is her name. She does vineyard stuff. She's working vineyards, and she's pregnant this year, and she's due soon, but she's got a big old belly. And on her post today, she said that look when your husband tells you you don't get to celebrate Mother's Day yet because you haven't had the baby yet. She's like, I am growing a human inside of me right now. Well, you're not a mother yet.
Well,
Oh, really? Really? What say you, men? I think he's a victim of autocorrect of his own son.
yeah. And he doesn't read when you text back to him. He doesn't read the whole thing.
Oh, no?
Yeah.
Okay. But, yeah, so... Yeah.
He's very hard to have a conversation with in text message.
Well, maybe he's referring to something. I don't know. I get a great nephew in October. That's cool. So, yeah, so we give our rabbits pineapple as a treat once in a while. Yeah, they can't really have a whole lot of sugar. So, but she's learning all that. One of the really cool things that she did is she remodeled her room and painted all of her walls different colors of chalkboard paint so that she can write reminders to herself of what she needs to get done.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. Technically, he is right. Yes, technically. I agree with that. I was actually referring to a previous life when somebody told me, because I'd only had a kid for, what was it, like a month? I'd had him for like a month.
2 months.
March to April to, no, like a little over a month and a half, that because I'd only had him a month and a half, that I wasn't really a mom yet. I didn't deserve Mother's Day yet. So, it's just a thing. So, anyway, to all of those mothers out there, grandmothers, happy Mother's Day to you. And in a month, we'll thank all of the men who are fathers.
Yeah, we do all the heavy lifting.
You do. You do all the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So anyway. I don't even want to look at that. Patrick, you're distracting me right now. I got so many jokes for that picture too. Anyway, are you about ready to call it a night? Because you look very miserable.
I am if you are.
Okay. Well, let's call it a night, baby. We got videos to make. We'll be catching you guys up on all the stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
We'll be very busy tomorrow.
Sorry I wasn't feeling all up to it. The allergies was kicking in because we're getting ready to sit down and do our 5-year goal plan, and
Yep.
I'm setting a goal when it comes to the honeybees.
Mm-hmm.
That some may think it's a little out there.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't met a goal I ain't reached yet. So
I know you're miserable, honey. I know.
I'm just gonna talk and it feels like I'm gonna sneeze.
Yeah. I'm sorry, babe.
So happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Whether the baby is here or not. whether you just had it or not. Happy Mother's Day.
That's it. Happy Mom's Day. You guys have a nice evening. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Yep. Go check out Baker Creek. Get you some seeds. And plant smiles.
Grow giggles.
And harvest the love, baby. Yeah.
You're so funny.
Repurpose, reuse, recycle. Keep stuff out of the landfill. And we will see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
God bless.